33.5 million Americans will experience homelessness this year in the U.S. In San Diego, like so many cities, they've become part of the scenery.
Our 10 News anchor Kimberly Hunt went to the San Diego premiere of a documentary about homelessness that may change your assumptions about this stigma.
Certainly will. Storied Streets is a raw look at who is homeless and how we tend to think that they're somehow different from everybody else. The people you'll meet shatter that myth.
That they're somehow different than everybody else.
Storied Streets may shake your assumptions of the homeless.
Usually, you're so ashamed of your condition, you don't want anyone to know.
Wendell lost his job.
I could never lay down on the ground and be comfortable. So I have always learned the routes of how to travel on the bus, on the city bus.
This family became buried in medical bills.
So I went from making really good money to nothing.
Giuseppe's mother left him when he was 14.
I ended up living on the bleachers of my school. I'd go down to the water fountain, I'd brush my teeth, I'd put water in my hair to make it look, a little snazzy, and I'd go to class.
Like 1.5 million children in our country, he had no home.
People just think homeless people are just these people that beg for food and look bummy and stink and things like that, but it's different kinds of homelessness.
35% hold jobs.
I get paid every 2 weeks consistently, and I'm still homeless.
Others can't kick drugs and alcohol.
There was a 3-month stretch where I never heard my name.
Mental illness is an issue, but not always.
But nobody wants to accept the fact that you homeless just because of poverty and you poor.
Producer Thomas Morgan says we need understanding.
I want people to be more empathetic. There's so many of these people that are in the documentary, you think, God, our lives were parallel, and then something went horribly wrong.
Now, several years after Morgan and Giuseppe met, they brought Storied Streets to the King-Chavez High School.
When you're 14 years old, not only are you prideful, but you're fragile to the embarrassment. Nobody wants to be that kid. Nobody wants to be known as the homeless kid.
Principal Kevin Bradshaw gets it. He came to San Diego as a standout basketball player for USIU, setting a national scoring record.
In college basketball, it's Kevin Bradshaw of US International.
He was almost like watching an acrobat.
He was destined for the NBA when the school went bankrupt and Bradshaw was left undrafted.
I was depressed, ashamed. I didn't want to talk to anyone because for the 2 years previous, I was at the top of the totem pole, so to speak. So I was set out in the streets for 3 months.
Now he looks out his office window at the streets where he once lived.
The shame of not reaching out for help at the time, which I really needed, it just put me farther into depression.
Through film are the lessons of empathy, compassion, understanding, and the surprising power of transformation.
I think my ability to understand where I was, who I was, and what my options were, I think my ability to have that understanding that I need to just keep going.
Giuseppe finished high school, graduated from college, and now works at a financial technology firm. Shattered Streets was brought here by the San Diego Film Foundation. It is part of the Impact Tour, and the documentary premieres to the public in the fall at the San Diego Film Festival.
What a turnaround for Giuseppe. An amazing story.
And so many others. And you're struck with riding the bus all night so no one knew that you didn't have a place to stay. Going to work every day, so no one knew you really didn't have a job. All those ways that they they were too ashamed to tell anyone.
So many people just like them out there
Really
still.
eye-opening.
Thank you, Kim.